Right, there we go. Greetings fellow flatcaps and welcome to the Spectrum. As promised, the Ask Me Anything video for the 300 sub fan appreciation, thank you very much by the way, video is here. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it, shall we? So I'm going to start with the Discord questions and then move on to the YouTube comment questions. So our first question here comes from Cami7 and says, what inspired you to be a content creator? Well, ever since I was a small boy, which was a very long time ago now, I have always wanted to entertain and make people laugh and make people happy. But I wasn't sure how I was going to do it because I can't sing, I can't dance, I'm not witty, so I can't come up with good jokes. So I was like, well, what do I do? And I was like, well, I could try making cartoons. So I got into drawing and I went through life learning how to animate and wanted to become an animator. And then reality came along and went, haha, hopes and dreams, that's not a thing you can have. So after university basically told me, yes, you are never going to make it in this industry. I was like, fuck, what do I do now? Because I still want to do something. I still want to make people laugh and happy. And I was like, well, YouTube's the guaranteed work, and I know a fair amount about video games, so maybe I can do something with that. That's the long version. The short version is, people being happy, smiling, and laughing is what inspired me to be a content creator. Next question comes from Jai. What is your favorite animated series? Animated series? Well, let's see. When you're a animation student and you like a lot of cartoons like I do, you can't just stop at one. So I would probably have to say that the top three are Rugrats, Animaniacs, and you know when you know that you know about a lot of cartoons, but then when you've got to name one, your brain gets clogged? That's exactly what's happening right now. Freakazoid, I think, would say is my third favourite, because underrated, but I loved it. And maybe looking back on it now, maybe it is shit, but I still like it regardless. Fabulous Court Jester, also known as Finn from Living with a Ghost, says, what is your favourite artist or music genre? Okay, I'm going to hazard a guess here and say by artist you are also meaning singer because you've asked for music genre afterwards. But in terms of music genre, I don't have a favourite. As long as the music sounds good, I'll listen to it. But in terms of a favourite singer or band, Linkin Park. I know that might be a bit emo and 2000s teenager to say, but Linkin Park got me through some hard times, so yeah, them. Very sad when Chester died. Okay, Gina of NG+, also known as Lady in the Cats in the Discord, says, how would you compare your very first video to your latest one? My very first one? Well, if you're on about my first video of Spectrum Z, I'd say it's okay, and you can definitely see an improvement from there to now. If you're talking about my first video when we were still three blokes with beards, dog shit is the simple answer to that one. I was nervous on the mic, I was trying to be clever, and the video editing was fine, but there was nothing special about it. It's a shitty video, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but at the same time, we've got to start somewhere. Daedra Empress, also known as my fiance, says, is it vegan to suck dick? I mean, I guess as long as you don't eat the dick. And then she has also instructed me that there is a follow-up question to this one, which is it vegan to swallow? Well, maybe if you try it for once, you'd find out. Finn is back saying, why are you so awesome? I'm not. Simple as that. Finn also asks, where did you get your first flat cap? I got it from Primark, and it was a little bit bigger than this one, and it was a light grey, and it had like a zigzag pattern that went across because of the stitching. I unfortunately lost that hat on a train ride, and who knows where it is now. This was years ago, but wherever that flat cap is now, I hope he's happy. Evolved Pixel, also known as Washington Killer, says, best type of crisp butty and why? Edible is the short answer to that one, I think. But to go into further detail, let's see. I would say that on white bread that's been buttered, And the crisps that go in the butty should be either cheese and chive Pringles or ready salted Walkers. I'm a simple man with simple tastes, as you can tell. Judith, also known as the Danish Queen, says, if you'd make it as a YouTuber big time, what would you use your platform for? Well, I would definitely use it to keep people happy and entertained and laughing, help them forget about their problems even if it's just for 5 minutes, because that's a win for me. But if I was big, let's say Markiplier big, right? And I'm making a fair amount of money. I would use that money because while Markiplier does make a lot of money, I don't need loads of money. I don't need to be making millions and all that stuff, or like several hundred thousand. While it would be nice to have a lot of money so I can keep supporting myself and my fiance, any money that is money I don't need, I'll just keep giving it away to people. I'll help my friends, I'll help my family, I'll give it to charities, I'll give it to, what do you call them? What's that website called? GoFundMes that really need help. But yeah, if I ever got to that point, any money I get from it would be used to help people as well as improve the channel. But primarily, the platform... Oh, that's another thing as well. The platform would also be used to help promote people who are very talented but unnoticed. Because as someone who has struggles with talent and being noticed individually, I understand how painful it is where you put in like 110% and you get nothing back. So I want to be at least someone who helps people get noticed. But primarily, to the short version, Judith, what will I use the platform for? Making people happy in any way I can. Whether it be laughing at videos, giving them money to solve a problem, or just helping them advance their careers in some fashion. Whatever it is, as long as it helps and makes them happy, I'm going to do it. Jai, what is your favourite Nintendo game series? I don't know if you would count it as a series, but if we're restricting it down to Nintendo, the Mario Kart series. I have always enjoyed the Mario Kart series. I haven't played all of them. I want to, and thanks to the Nintendo Switch now having the N64 emulator on there, I can now play some of them I haven't before. But short and easy, Mario Kart is the series I've always liked in terms of Nintendo. Finn's back and says, what are the most overrated, underrated classes to play on D&D? Oh, it's a tricky one. I mean, like, this is something that's debated a lot in the D&D community. Like, what's the best class? What's the shittest class? The only thing that people seem to universally agree on is that the first iteration of the 5e Ranger is shit and unrewarding. But let's see. If I was to choose one underrated class, maybe, at least in my experience, a life cleric, because people like playing clerics and, you know, they can do a lot of things, but sometimes just being the guy who keeps everyone alive is a very satisfying experience. But for a lot of people, it isn't, because you tend to stay at the back, you stay out the way. You're like, oh, you got a paper cut? Got you. What's that? An arrow in the eye? Got it out. And they're like, well, I want to fight something, but I can't hit anything. But for some people, like me, that's okay. It's like, what do I need to do? I need you to heal me. Got it. Or another game, it might be, what do I need to do? I need to sneak around and stab people. Got it. Because I'm pretty adaptable when it comes to things like that. As for underrated, oh no, I said underrated. Overrated, let's see. Maybe a wild mage sorcerer, because while it is fun with the random element when their magic goes wrong, a lot of the times it can just be annoying. Like, you're trying to do something, you roll, and because people sometimes play these just to cause trouble in the game, you roll, something goes wrong, and your plan is just gone, or maybe another player's been killed, all because of chance. And, oh, it's fun and random. It's like, yeah, it's fun and random until you're the victim. But yeah, that's my answer to that one. Overrated, Wild Mage Sorcerer. Underrated, Life Clerics, according to my experience playing the game. Gina then doesn't ask a question, but instead makes a request, saying, create an impromptu D&D character with a background on the spot right now, at the time of recording, obviously. Well, I'm not going to say no, but that will take a lot of time right now to do, Gina, so just for you, because anyone who's in our Discord and knows Gina, or is in her Discord and knows Gina, knows that Gina is a treasure, and we love her very much. I will create a video just for you, Gina, so you can see what I come up with, but that will come at a later date, but it will happen, trust me. What is your Pokemon Dream Team? I stopped playing Pokemon around the time 2nd Gen was first introduced, so I am not familiar with all 1085 or however many there are now Pokemon. I'm only familiar with 1st Gen and a little bit of 2nd, but my Dream Team, assuming we're limiting it to 6 that sit on your belt, I would say Hitmonlee, Rhyhorn, Growlithe, Pidgeot, Chansey, and Articuno. My Dream Team, no particular reason, either because they've done me well in the games or because they look nice. That's pretty much it. Gina's back saying, what's a game that you love but everyone seems to hate or not know about? Pretty much, in this day and age, it just seems to be everything I play, everyone hates. And I'm not saying that because of the way YouTube acts. I mean, like, I'll buy a game on the Xbox or the PlayStation, or I'll find something old that I want to play with people. Hey, does anyone want to play with me? And everyone goes, nah, not really. And I'm like, am I the only one who likes what I like? Seriously. And then Kami asked Gina's question in reverse. What's the game that most people love but you hate? Easily, without a doubt, Call of Duty. Cannot stand what Call of Duty has become now. Back in the old days, it was actually a story about the horrors of war and how difficult war is and how much it harms you. And now it's just Fortnite with different graphics. It's overrated, it's overpriced, and it's pretty much a scam now. I'm not faulting anybody who still likes it. You do you. You can keep playing it if you want. But Treyarch are a bunch of cunts for what they've done to it. Okay, so that was all the Discord questions. We're now moving on to the YouTube questions. And the first question comes from Veggie. Oh, there's only 4 here, so we'll get through these pretty quickly, I think. But the first question comes from Veggie Gamer. Says, congrats on the 300, man. Thank you very much, Veggie. What 4 games would you put on your arcade Mount Rushmore? And it's got another follow-up question. Okay, well, let's see. That is a good question. My arcade Mount Rushmore. Okay, well, easily, the first one, in no particular order of these, Time Crisis 2, because I like playing the Time Crisis machines because of the gun that's animated and the top of it slides back, and you can do the whole docking and standing up again. And with Time Crisis 2, you can play with a friend, and I really enjoy it. It just feels really good to play, if you get what I mean. Second game, I'm going to have to Google this one now, but there was an arcade machine years and years ago I saw, which was a rail shooter, and you played as a policeman, but you had to, instead of pushing a pedal that made you go up and down, you instead had to use your body, and the sensors would pick up where you were moving around so that you could dodge bullets just by you physically leaning left or leaning right, kind of thing. Police 911, that's what it was called. That was a really good one, and unfortunately I haven't seen it anywhere since, not even in the Retro Arcade in Blackpool. I'd love to play that again. Now for my third game, let's see. Got 2 rail shooters, but how about I mix it up in some fashion? Let's say Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I did really like that one because of the craziness, but also because it was a very well put together beat 'em up. And then the last one would probably be, simply because this was the very first ever arcade game I was able to complete, Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Veggie's follow-up question is then, what is your hottest take on a game that others seem to love but you can't stand? Probably what I said before about Call of Duty, in all honesty. Finn's back and says, how many fridge magnets are on the fridge right now? Let me check, hold on. 36 right now. For those of you who may be out the loop, when me and Aka go out somewhere at the end of the month on date day, we try and bring back a souvenir of where we've been. whether it be something as small as going to an arcade or maybe going to another town. And primarily, we try and make them magnets, because then we can keep them on the fridge. But that's not always the case. But currently, Finn, the answer is there are 36... What did I just say? That's what I said. There's that many on the fridge. Gina says, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? God, there's so many places in the world that seem nice to live, but I'll never be able to visit. Well, I wouldn't want anywhere hot like Spain or Australia, because I do not do well in the heat. I get heat stroke fairly easily, and even with just like somewhat of a mild heat, I do get kind of drowsy. Cold wouldn't bother me so much, but it would bother Akka. So I would probably say maybe Canada. I know that's cold, but it doesn't seem as bad. Or one of the quieter parts of Japan. Not all the big hustle and bustle cities, but like the countryside, because Japan do really nice food. And it would be nice to try it once from the actual source rather than the imitation stuff that they have imported. And Canada, because it just seems like a really nice place and seems to be friendly as well. And then the final question we have comes from DJ Hyper. And it says, play with Voom 117 Sonic Uncle. I mean, that's not a question, but okay. And with that, that's all the questions. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for helping me get to 300. Let's see if we can get to 400 together. Very thankful for your helping me get this far. Now, of course, if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see if we do hit 400, let them know down below and I'll see what I can do for you. Once again, everyone, thank you so much. And remember, you're always welcome at the Spectrum.